I haven't told you guys a story in so long! Since it is so close to Halloween, I decided I would bring you one or two of the Grimm brothers' more creepy and unsettling stories. And this story is called The Nightingale and the Blindworm. It goes like this. Once upon a time there was a nightingale and a blindworm. But back then, each of them only had one eye. So one day, the nightingale goes up to the blindworm and says, "Hey dude, I'm going to a party and I really don't want to show up half blind. Would you be so cool as to lend me your eye?" And the blindworm says, "Sure, why not? Just give it back to me when you're done." So the nightingale takes blindworm's eye, sticks it in her own face, and flies off to her little bird party. And then later she comes back. But she likes having two eyes. She likes being able to see out of both sides and having unimpaired 20/20 vision, and doesn't give the eye back to the blindworm. And the blindworm, who is now completely blind, swears vengeance upon the nightingale, to which the nightingale replies, "Yeah, sure, if you can catch me," and flies off. And ever since then, according to this story, the nightingale builds her nests high up in the tree and flies off so that the blindworm will never catch her. But hidden beneath every nightingale nest in the bushes below, it is said that there is always a blindworm lying there in wait, so that whenever the nightingale flies off, it will crawl its way up into the nightingale's nest, pierce its eggs, and drink them dry. This is a children's story, boys and girls. Another unsettling story is called The Hand with the Knife, and it goes that once upon a time there was a little girl who had 3 brothers who were all loved very much by their mother, but the mother didn't care so much for the little girl. In fact, while she was pampering the 3 brothers, she would send the little girl out to the field to cut peat with a dull knife for fire fuel. And somehow, every day, the girl always came back with plenty of fuel. And the brothers started getting curious about how their sister was accomplishing so much work, even though she had such bad tools. And so one day they followed her, and they saw her go up to a cliff where there was a little crevice and start talking to it. And all of a sudden, they saw a hand reach out through the crevice, holding a knife. Now this knife was a magical knife. It was a magical knife that could cut through anything, and the hand holding it belonged to a fairy. And they saw the little girl take the knife and go off and do her work and not have any problems with it. And then she came back and she handed the knife back to the hand through the crevice and came home. And the little boys were evil little boys. And so after their sister was home, they went to the crevice and spoke to it, and the hand reached out with the knife. They took the knife and they cut off the hand of the fairy and showed it to their sister. And from then on, whenever the sister was forced to go and get fuel, the hand of the fairy never reappeared, and she never got help again. 'Cause, for kids! And those are 2 of the Grimm's more nasty Halloween stories for your Halloween enjoyment. If you did enjoy them and would like to hear more, go ahead and click that subscribe button below. as well as like this video and share it with 10 of your closest friends, or if you didn't like it, 10 of your closest enemies. Other than that, I'm really excited to be back and sharing more stories with you guys, and looking forward to bringing you more Halloween stories later this week. So, thank you, and I will see you all again soon.